Alright, let's go over question 3. You'll notice my page does not have lines because I figured, if I have a table here and if I paste the table onto the line, it's going to look very messy, okay? Alright. The question was, James, Edward, Ravi and Osman like to collect trading cards as a hobby. They record the number of trading cards they collect in the table shown below. From the pattern, A, how many trading cards would each of them have by the 10th week? Okay. B, which boy collected the most number of trading cards? Now there's a quick way and a short way to do this. And the long way would be where you basically draw out the whole table and then you would include week 5, week 6, week 7, week 8, week 9 and week 10, okay? Now let me show you the quick way. Alright, let's look at Edward's. Now let's ignore, rather than writing the whole word, I'm just going to write W, and that's going to mean week 1, okay? So we have week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, 5, 6, alright. We know that from 16 to 20, we need to plus 4, right? And from 20 to 24, we plus 4, 24 to 28 plus 4. So in other words, the pattern is we're adding 4. So we don't need to include week 1 after all. Let's start from week 2. How did we get from week 2? We added 4 trading cards. Okay, so this is how we got week 2 here. To get from week 2 to week 3, we added 4. So basically we keep adding 4. Alright. Now the question is asking us, how many trading cards would each of them have by the 10th week? Okay. So let's not include week 1 because we know what week 1 is already. Okay. We know what these ones are, but bear with me, okay? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So for us to get from week 1 to week 10, we need to have 9 weeks. Okay? Now the pattern is adding 4. Okay? Now 9 times 4 basically means 4 plus 4 plus 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So rather than writing 4 plus 4 9 times, we write 9 times 4 because multiplication is the quicker way of repeated addition. Okay? So this is what we can do now. If I just rub this out. Alright. Now Edward had 16 in the first week. Okay, let's write a plus. Now from week 1 to week 10, that's a total of 9 weeks. Okay, and the pattern was plus 4, so we can times it by 4. Because remember how I said multiplication is a quicker way of repeated addition. Okay? So a quicker way of doing repeated addition. So in other words, for us to get to week 10, all we have to do is add 16 to 9 times 4. 9 times 4 is 36. Okay, so 16 plus 36. We'll do it here. 6 plus 6 is 12. The 1 goes here. 1 plus 1 is 2 plus 3 is 5. So the answer is 52. So Edward in 10 weeks gets 52 trading cards. Okay? Now let's look at Ravi. Ravi has 8. Now from here to here, week 1 to week 2, we add 8. Okay? And if you didn't know that, well, you could count on from 8 or you could subtract 16 from 8. From 16 to 24, we add 8. From 24 to 32, we add 8. So in other words, this is what we can do. We know that in week 1, Ravi has 8. And since to get from week 1 to week 10 we have 9 weeks, we can write a 9 here. And we can write times. And most of you would have guessed that we times by 8. Okay? So rather than adding 8 all the time and filling in your table slowly, this is how we can find week 10. Okay? 9 times 8 is 72. So 8 plus 72 is 80. So we can write 80 here. And let's look at James. Now James has 10 cards in the first week. Let's see how much he gets from week 1 to week 2. So 10 to 17, that's adding 7. Okay? 17 to 24, again that's adding 7. 24 to 31, that's adding 7. And we know that to get from week 1 to week 10 is 9 weeks. And the pattern is we're adding 7, so we can write times 7. Okay? 9 times 7 is 63. 10 plus 63 is 73. Alright? So James has 73. Osman. Now he has 14 cards at the beginning of week 1. Let's find out the pattern. 14 to 19 we add 5. 19 to 24 we add 5. 24 to 29 we add 5. So the pattern is plusing 5. So same thing, week 1 to week 10. 9 weeks. And the pattern is plus 5. So we can times it by 5. 9 times 5 is 45. 14 plus 45 is 49. Okay? So this would answer question A. However, if you wanted to write it as a full sentence, I guess you could write therefore. Edward would have 52 in 10 weeks. And then you would write Ravi would have 80 in 10 weeks. James would have 73 in 10 weeks. And Osman would have 49 in 10 weeks. Okay, if you wanted to write it out like that. Now we've answered the first part of the question, but the question is broken up into 2 parts. Okay, so let's write this as A. Okay, let's write B here. Which boy collected the most number of trading cards? So if we look at week 10, because it stops at week 10, right? All we have to do is look at the numbers and see which number is bigger. So let me circle this in red. Let's look at the tens column first. We have 5, 8, 7, 4. Since 8 is the biggest, in tens column, so this is the biggest, so 80. So, the question was, which boy collected the most number of trading cards? We can write therefore. Ravi collected the most number of trading cards. Okay? And I guess one really good thing about answering the problem in a full sentence is it makes you look back at the question and see what it's asking. Okay, which is always good because that's one of the steps in problem solving. You must always understand what the problem is asking. Because if you don't understand that, well, how can you answer the problem, right? So that is how I did it. Okay, that's the quicker way. So sometimes you really need to think. You need to look. Maths is always about patterns as well. A pattern is something that repeats itself. So in this case, Edward's pattern was the number of trading cards were going up by 4 each week. Ravi's pattern was they were going up by 8 each week. James' pattern was they were going up by 7. And Osman's pattern was they were going up by 5. And since we had the value of week 1, okay, all we had to do was find the other weeks. Okay? So I hope that answers your question, and now let's move on to the other problem. Of course, there are other ways to solve this. So don't think just because I show you the working that's the only way, okay? One of the really good things about maths is there's always usually more than one way to find the answer. Alright. This one I can paste on the piece of paper in the next lesson, so that's fine. Alright, the question is, what is the digit in the tens place of the sum below? Okay? I want you to think about this. I believe this problem was done in lesson 2, so if you can't remember how to do it, you might want to go back and watch that lesson first. But most of you should have a pretty good idea on what to do now. Okay? Good luck with the problem and keep working hard. Remember, the more problems you do, the better you become, okay?